Assalamu alaikum dear viewers and welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to explore a very dangerous and intriguing topic about the Jinn world, and that is the Jinn possession of the human body. Up until now, we have discovered and learned all about the Jinns, including how they look, what they eat, how they came into existence, what their weaknesses and strengths are, and even about their animals. So, it's time today we discuss the most haunted topic about the Jinn, because of which people don't even dare to take their names during night hours. So without further delay, let us know everything about this ability of the Jinns. There is no doubt about this ability of the Jinn that can truly actually enter a human body. Several cases have come to light where a person, while doing ghusl, got controlled by the Jinn, or when walking down an abandoned street in the night, suddenly started acting like someone who he himself never was. We can also find the evidence of Jinn possession in the Quran itself. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, "Those who consume interest will stand on Judgment Day like those driven to madness by Satan's touch." The phrase used in this verse, "driven to madness by Satan's touch," implies that when the Jinn enters and possesses a human body, the person loses his control over his mind as well as his physical self, and therefore becomes as tough as he is a madman, because a madman is the one who does have no knowledge and control of his actions. Reasons why the Jinns enter the human body. The Jinns usually don't enter and possess a human body because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created a barrier between the world of the Jinn and the human world. The Jinns are content in their own world, while we humans are occupied in content in our own world. But sometimes, a Jinn decides to break this barrier and create chaos and harm a certain individual. Why does Jinn decide to cause harm to any individual by entering into his body? There are actually three main reasons for this action by the Jinn. Number 1, revenge. We are aware that although we are unable to see them, Jinns are able to see us. As a result, we occasionally unintentionally hurt Jinns or any of their family members. Even though it is obvious to both the Jinn and humanity that any injury done to the Jinn was unintended, there are situations where the Jinns find it difficult to forgive a human even when they are aware that the human was not conscious of the harm that was done. However, the question of whether and how humans might injure Jinns emerges. The answer is absolutely yes. There are ways in which we can injure the Jinns without even realizing what we did that harmed the Jinn. Let's discuss how we do so that we may be careful from now on. Number 1, urinating on burrows. Jinns reside in deserted areas such as mountains and deserts. Many of us get the urge to urinate and end up urinating in such burrows and holes, unknowingly urinating on the Jinn or any of his family members. When such an incident occurs, the Jinn becomes extremely furious and frustrated, and in order to exact vengeance, he attempts to hurt the human by possessing him. It was narrated from Qatada, from Abdullah bin Sarjis, that the Prophet of Allah ﷺ said, "None of you should urinate into a burrow in the ground." They said to Qatada why it is disliked to urinate in a burrow in the ground. He said, "It is said that these are dwelling places of the Jinn." Number 2, pouring hot water. By pouring hot and boiling water upon places like bathrooms and storerooms, it could lead to inflicting harm upon the Jinn and even killing it. Bathrooms and such places are known to be residing places of the Jinns, and therefore we are advised to say this dua before entering the bathroom so as to be safe from the harms of the Jinns. In the name of Allah, O Allah, I take refuge with you from all evil and evildoers. Number 3, intentionally reciting the Quran backwards or in the toilet. Believe it or not, there are some people who are simply fascinated about meeting the Jinns and have a secret wish to control the Jinns, so that their wish can come true. Some uneducated people have simply circulated the myth that reciting the Quran backwards or in the toilet will cause Jinn to emerge in front of them. Remember, there is no such evidence that such things ever occur, and even if they do, the Jinn will not come under the control of the individual, but instead the Jinn will instead possess and control them. Thus, to prevent being possessed by the Jinn as a result of the aforementioned mistakes, care must be taken. These include saying the dua before using the restrooms, avoiding urinating in barren places, particularly holes and burrows, and making attempts not to wish for the jinns to mate. Number 4. When the animals of the jinn get harmed. As previously explained, the jinns, like humans, have animals. And when we mistakenly hurt one of their animals, the jinn becomes enraged and enters the human body. Therefore, when one sees a snake, a scorpion, or any other such black creature who is famous as being a form of the jinn or being an animal of the jinn, one should warn them verbally for 3 days. And after 3 days have passed, one can kill it because then the creature was certainly a harming jinn. Abu Sa'id Khudri reported Allah's Messenger having said, "There is a group of jinns in Medina who accepted Islam, so he who would see anything from these occupants should warn him 3 times. As if he appears after that, he should kill him, for he is a Satan." Number 2. When a jinn or jinni falls in love with a human. Sometimes, a female jinn or a jinn enters a human body because it has developed a strong romantic attachment to the human. Such an occurrence might take place when someone takes a bath or changes clothes, requiring the removal of all clothing, and the jinn simply gets attracted by the beauty of that person's body and enters it out of unconditional affection. Furthermore, the jinn will not allow anyone to approach the body he once owned if such an event occurs. For instance, if a wife became possessed by a jinn for the same reason, she would not allow her husband to touch her, not even for hugs or kisses. For this reason, it is recommended to say Bismillah before changing clothes and to recite the previously shared dua before using restrooms after taking off clothes for a bath. Number 3. The jinn desire to harm a person. When the jinn himself is harming and corrupting jinn, then he will try to seize every possible opportunity to possess a human body and cause him to suffer. When a person does not remember Allah or is not even performing the obligatory actions required in Islam, such as Salah or Zakat, then the jinn will find it easily entering his body, as remembering Allah and performing all the obligations in Islam acts as a shield which the person does not have. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, "And whoever turns a blind eye to the reminder of the most compassionate, we place at the disposal of each a devilish one as their close associate." Moreover, if the person is living a life of sin and is involved in consuming drugs, watching pornographic content, masturbation, and all such haram activities, then the jinn can enter into the body of such person while he's committing the act, because at that very point in time, the human body is the most vulnerable. So, this was all about the possession of the human body by the jinns and the main reason why jinns possess in the first place. As we discussed, one can try to avoid getting possessed and harmed by the jinn by only being careful about the reasons. In the next video, we'll discuss the specific du'as and adhkar that should be recited by us so as to get all-around protection against them. That's it for today. If you found this video informative, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more insightful content. Stay tuned for more videos on this interesting series, The World of the Jinn. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum.